Hello there and welcome. In this video, we're going to take step one of adding a new contact or prospective client, buyer or seller, to our contact manager. There are several ways to add a new contact or prospect to Paragon's contact manager. This is the basic essentials, and we're going to lead off by going to our contacts. We click on contacts, and in the drop-down menu we have add contact. We click on it. This opens a contacts tab with two sub-tabs. One, the contacts tab here, the sub-tab will be our actual contacts, view and manage contacts. The other will be the new contact that we need to put into the system. So we're going to come down through the left columns and then to the right columns. The first one is that this is going to be an active customer or active contact. Even if it's not a prospective buyer or seller, you're putting in a contact, it doesn't matter, have them in here as an active. That way they show up later on your contact pages with easy access to get to them. However, once you have a prospective buyer or seller completed with their whole transaction, you can mark them inactive, and that gets them somewhat out of the picture until the next time you need to work with them. Then you can reactivate them. The next one down is for Client Connect portal. Please watch the video on Client Connect and the auto notifications to find out more about this option. Again, this will only be on and available to you if your board and association has selected to have search options on the Client Connect turned on. So moving on down, we have our first name and our last name. Those are the only required fields. And moving down into our screen by pushing your tab key or clicking directly into the box, we're now at the email. Several email options here. We'll go with this first option. Make sure that it is in the right format. The little check mark here, green check mark, says that I have the right format typed. We have an additional email, and so we have a second email put in here. If we have two emails in for the same person, please mark one as a primary. The system will even ask you to mark a primary when you try to save it. Moving on down again, we have a third email possibility, company name, job title, that's all record keeping for you. We also then have our secondary contact and a secondary contact email. And again, that tells me that I have the right format. Now this next box here, add the spouse or secondary to the notifications. So with a check mark here, this means that when I start an auto search, auto notification process, if this happens to be a prospective buyer and I'm going to go through that setup, then they will be included, this email address will be included in that setup for an auto notification. Coming down the page, we have our address information. We have different options for our different addresses that we might have for these people. Technical information here at the bottom. And in the top right, phone information. Moving down into the manage contact and the different types of contact that this might be. Now this will vary again from board to board. Associations will have different setups here for the different types. Some of you may only see a seller and an other and a buyer type. The Paragon that I'm using, the training Paragon, we have set up additional types. They could be in several different of these sections or types. These help you filter and look for people in our view and manage contacts page. The next section will be groups. Groups are created by you. There will be no groups here by default. You can create groups, and this means that you have groups created for distribution lists, that's called, or separation lists, so that you can have, for this particular customer that I'm putting in at this time, I could say they are a buyer and they'll go into the buyers group along with all my other buyers. They could be a seller also. They also could be family and friends. It doesn't matter. They can be in any and as many groups as they qualify for. The next one down is use reverse prospecting. This is a tool that means that if I want, I could have Paragon, by checking this checkbox and putting in an alias here, I could have Paragon allow listing agents who have a listing to search for buyers that have criteria similar to their listing. So that's the reverse of prospecting. If prospecting is having a buyer with criteria of what they're looking for, then the reverse of that is an agent that has a listing and they want to search for buyers that have criteria that match the listing that they've gotten. Now, the biggest thing here is to remember that the listing agent that is doing a reverse prospecting search only gets the agent for that buyer. They do not get any buyer information or contact information at all. All they get is the information of the agent who has that buyer in the system. The next one down is source. And this is the way to keep track of how you're getting your prospective buyers and sellers. We also could put in the comment a referral or whatever you might need to be. So these choices here will help you in the long run, give you an idea of how your marketing dollars are bringing you returns. So now that we have everything filled out for this particular customer, we say save in the top left corner. We click save. And now that customer is part of our view and manage contacts page. And in the sub-tab for this new is now the actual name for this customer. So the new contact became bought buyer. In the left, we have a work panel that shows you all the different things and tools that are available for you to use for this customer or this contact. If it's a prospective buyer, we can take it to the search activity where we set up the auto search and auto notification scenarios. We can also have a saved CMA if this customer is a possible seller. More information here lets you take and put in notes for this customer, add a note, create tasks and timetable tasks, add a document if need be, and even run some possible financials on pre-qualifying a possible buyer. Email history will keep track of emails that you have been sent out, manual and automatic. And the summary page will give you an overview look of all the things that you have going on for that particular customer. Now back at the very top on the work panel, we have the dashboard and the contact activity. Once we have the search set up, notifications, Client Connect set up for this particular customer, a buyer customer, then it will keep track of that information on this very front page of contact activity of all the new listings and changed listings and any favorites and possibles within Client Connect that they may have selected. So that's how you add a contact or a prospective client to your contact manager. Thanks for watching.